So, greetings everybody. It's Karen Gilfillan here from Stimulus. Hope you're all well. I just wanted to share today some thoughts around mindset. Our mindset is vitally important when we want to improve our health and well-being. And one of the keys to success, in my opinion, is having a healthy mindset in terms of your health and well-being. And I've spent hundreds of hours as a life coach working with clients within the life and energy and wellness arenas over the past 12 years. And for me, it's about viewing our health and well-being as something that's precious and prized and that's got to be protected at all costs. And the more proactive you can be around your health and well-being, the less reactive you're going to be in later life, in years to come. And it's about exercising what we call delayed gratification. So you won't necessarily see the benefits immediately when you start to get into a positive mindset about your health and well-being. But you'll know deep down that you're pushing back the walls of old age and pain and discomfort in later life. So in the same way that, for example, we pay for life insurance for peace of mind in the future, we can start investing in our health and well-being now by forming solid, positive habits now, in the moment, that we know are going to benefit us a month, 3 months, 6 months, 6 years down the line. So one of the ways that we can start to do that is to create what we call a why statement. And this is a statement of motivation. This is a statement that explains why it is that your health and well-being is so critical to you, is so important to you. And we do this because we want to keep ourselves motivated when things become tough, and they will do. So your statement could be one word. It could be a page of A4. It could be more than a page of A4. It could be a book if you want to. It's your statement. So think about what you'll need to say to yourself when, for example, you want to eat that burger. What are the words that are going to motivate you to making a different choice? Think about what you're going to say to yourself when you just want to sit on the settee and you don't want to move. You don't want to do anything apart from watch 6 hours of Netflix. Think about what you're going to say to yourself when you find yourself working into the night until 4 a.m. in the morning, or when you can't be bothered to drink the water that you know that you should be drinking, should in inverted commas, should be drinking for your health and well-being. What will you think? What will you feel? And what will you say to yourself? And finally, what will you do to get you to change the thoughts or habits, the thoughts or behaviors, the thoughts or feelings in that moment? What we're doing is we're trying to motivate ourselves to interrupt the old pattern that's keeping us down, that's keeping us in the space we are now. So decide that now. Decide what your statement is going to be, your motivational why statement is going to be now, before you get in the game. And you may need to make a list of all the things that you're going to say to yourself. And that's fine, as long as that list compels you to do what you need to do in order to make a difference in the moment. And the reason why I'm stressing this thing about in the moment is all we have is now, this moment in time. And our whole life is a collection of now moments. So if you can succeed in positively influencing what you're thinking in the moment, this will influence what you actively say to yourself, which means the feelings and ultimate action that you take will be different. Who we have become is the result of the micro decisions that we've made over the years. Even when others have been in control, it still comes down to those micro decisions that we've made. Because we always have a choice, even when other people are in control. Unless we're brainwashed without our knowledge. We always have a choice about how we think about our situation. even if you've unconsciously found yourself with that empty plate, with the burger, half-eaten burger sitting on it, you can still influence how you feel and how you think in the moment. Because how you think influences how you feel. So you can still influence both of those things in the moment. So for example, you can describe to yourself how the saturated fat from that burger that you've just eaten is now clogging up your arteries, restricting the blood flow to your heart, and putting you at risk of a heart attack. To make the message even stronger, if you're a visual person, so somebody who can easily construct strong images in your mind, you can visualize your clogged arteries. You can visualize the blood struggling to circulate, and you, in 10 years' time, struggling to walk because you're 2 or 3 times the weight that you are now. At that point in time, you can visualize yourself being at risk of losing your life. So this kind of processing for a number of people changes the experience from one of pleasure to one of guilt, even if only slightly. And guilt is what we call a low-level vibrational emotion, i.e., it's an emotion that's on the fear spectrum, which keeps us down, rather than the love spectrum, which raises us up as far as emotions go. But you can turn that guilt around by resolving or intending to think differently before you, for example, buy the burger next time. And this process starts with how we think. This is what I was saying earlier, how we think, which influences how we feel. How we feel influences what we say to ourselves, and what we say to ourselves influences what we end up doing, and hence the results that show up in our lives. The aim is to instill a new pattern of behavior, and your body needs to feel that new pattern of behavior for it to be embedded long term. And this can sometimes feel very alien, very strange, and very uncomfortable as an experience. So what do I mean by that? For example, the first time that you order the salad instead of the burger and fries, you may well feel that you're almost kind of like betraying your true self. And you may even resent yourself for ordering a salad instead of burger and fries. Every fibre of your being will try to convince you that you're making the wrong decision, because it will feel wrong. You may even drop into victim mode. You may start to feel tired. You may start to reason that you've had a hard day and you deserve a treat, for example. All of these responses are examples of your mind seducing you back into your existing pattern, ordering your burger and your fries, because that's what's in your comfort zone and that's what you're used to doing. But if your why is strong enough, remember your why statement, if your why is strong enough to counteract that resentment and the seeming denial of the momentary happiness that goes with that feeling, you'll come through it. And you'll experience, again, this delayed gratification for having made the right decision in the moment for your health. So when we understand that our mind is very powerful, as are the words that we think and we say, and we're trying to seduce us, as I've said, into making those decisions that are in the long term unhelpful for us, we can accept that these thoughts are just part of this process of transformation for change. And this acceptance allows us to let go of the fight, because trying to fight our mind just keeps this seductive or set of seductive, unhelpful thoughts alive. And when you understand that you will have unhelpful thoughts that will lead you back to the old behaviours that got you here in the first place, you can look out for them. And in the moment, think from a place of ease and control. Oh, this is just my mind trying to pull me back to an old pattern. It thinks it's doing me a favour by trying to get me to stick to that pattern. But I know what my long-term goal is. And it's to have vibrant mental, emotional, and physical health for the rest of my life. So therefore, I'm going to do X, whatever X is. Eat the salad, drink the water, move my body, etc., etc. Part of what you say to yourself needs to state what you're going to do, not what you're not going to do, because your mind will ignore the not and will be drawn towards what you don't want to do. So always make what you say to yourself positive. And when we have the physical reactions and urges, like for example, wanting the burger, but we can calmly choose to have the salad instead, what you're doing is not giving in to those urges. We do not have to act on our urges and physical reactions. We may have them, we don't have to respond to them. We can observe them in the same way that a father observes the screaming child having a tantrum. We can choose how we respond in the moment. You can either give in to the screaming child every time, or you can allow the child just to have his or her tantrum until he or she gets tired and stops. If you, as a father, scream and shout back at the child, you're approaching the situation with an energy of resistance and fight, which is more likely to exacerbate the outburst of your child. So when it comes to the urge for the burger, for example, or any other strong compulsion, observe it, calmly accept it, which allows this fight to dissipate. Think differently and allow yourself to feel differently and finally act differently. Okay, so observe, accept, think, feel, and then act. The urge triggers the observation, and this observation separates you, if only slightly, from that urge and allows you a split second to think a different thought, even if that thought is only, there it is. This is your mind trying to pull you back to the old behavior. And in that instant, you can choose a completely different response. For example, to order a salad. For example, to drink some water. For example, to move your body. It will feel alien to get off the settee, walk, eat the salad, for example, drink the water. But reminding yourself of your why will allow you to accept the strangeness of the feeling, which with application will eventually subside. And this conscious approach will move you into a space of responding from your higher brain rather than reacting from your primal or animal brain. And this may be all you need to make a different decision in the moment. So your trigger becomes any addictive urge to eat the burger, have the drink, eat the cake, watch another TV program, drive instead of walk. The urge is satisfying a very strong short-term need for comfort and ease, which can have a long-term negative consequence for you, or long-term negative consequences for you. And you may know this intellectually, but in the moment, satisfying that impulse will feel so right. And remember that even if you completely fall off the wagon for a period of time and you start to think, well, I really should get back to the walking, I really should get back to, eating healthily, getting off the burgers again, I really should stop drinking. You observe it, just observe it, calmly accept it, and think, I'm going for a walk. And then do it. Then do it in that moment as soon as you say it. Because if you don't, you've probably got about 3 seconds to actually respond to that thought, I'm going to do X, before your mind gets going and drags you back into the old pattern. Yeah, but it's cold outside. Yeah, but you've had a hard day. Yeah, but you're tired. Those thoughts will start creeping in. So when you have the thought, I'm going for the walk, I'm going to order the salad, I'm going to have a drink of water, do it there and then. It's not easy to make these transformations, but it's a process. But an easier approach is always to change how you respond in the moment.